Did. Oh, looks like we are. All right, you're live. You got the intro going, but it's still showing us. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, tuning in tonight to tonight's show. It is January the 6th, 2025. Can you believe it is already 2025? OMG. We got a great show for you tonight. Tonight, we are kicking off Prim, Proper, Pink, and Pretty. What does that mean, you ask? Well, this is going to be a platform designed for girls sports talk. And tonight we've got a very special guest. We're going to be collaborating with the beautiful, pretty lady of sports, Miss Sonja Peterson. Sonja Peterson. With that being said, I am PINKFanFur. I am a super fan of the Carolina Panthers, as well as a proud member of Carolina's SuperFans United, and that is under the leadership of Elaine Brown, aka Mad Catta. Now, without any further ado, I would like to introduce to you our guest tonight, Miss Sonja Pearson. She is the president and founder of All Things Football from a lady's perspective, Prim and Proper Sports, as well as the president and founder of the original Carolina Pantherettes. Without any further ado, she is also the guru in all things sports and football, and she's going to be taking us around the NFL league, giving us all the news and all what's happening. And so, without any further ado, welcome, Sonja Pearson.
Hi, Pink. How are you? PINKFanFur. Such a blessing to be here. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. It's so odd to be on this side of the platform. I'm super excited and grateful that you thought of me to come on tonight. We've talked about this for a little bit. And so it's just so great to connect with your audience. And I'm actually sharing your live as well. Just excited to be here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Miss Lady. Thank you so much. And I wanted to give you an acknowledgement. Everybody out there in internet land, if you missed our show last Friday, we had a great show for you. And it was kind of like a preview of what we're going to be doing. We're not going to just be, it's not just going to be the two of us. We're going to have different guests on, namely females and girls, so we can talk girl sports. But I wanted to give Sonja Pearson a shout out because I've known her for quite a few years. And I joined the Carolina Pantherettes some years back, probably the 2007s, back during the, hype era, anyway, so that's how we met. And if you fast forward over the years, I've watched her grow and develop as a person and as a professional person in this field of, sports, all things sports, and by women. And so she's inspired me to actually start doing this. This is not by no means, let me put this disclaimer out there. I am by no means an expert or anything like that on sports, but I just love sports just like she loves sports. So I wanted to thank you personally for you being an inspiration, not just to me, but all women that's all in your group, all women all over the world, for just being the person who you are and just being you, So I appreciate you allowing me to come on your show. Last year, I think we did our first show together in February of 24, and you was like, Pink, can you come on my show? And I was like, come on your show? What do you mean come on your show? I don't know what you mean by coming on your show. So it turned out to be pretty fun. And, it's kind of like just having a conversation, just like how we do. So I like it. And so that inspired me to start my show, PINKFanFur and Company, where I will be allowing this platform for super fans to come on and talk about their super fanism and just talk about, what makes them super fans and what's the fun about it, because I'm a super fan myself and I'm inspired to be a super fan. And so shout out to you, Sonja, for the inspiration.
Thank you so very much, Pink. And that actually honors me. I went ahead and turned my background off. For some reason, it's making me disappear. It's such an honor to do this. I always tell people it started out as something fun that I just like to do to stay connected with my family and friends in the Carolinas, because that's originally where I'm from. And I have not lived there now in as long as I've lived in Atlanta. So it's been a long time since I've lived at home. And so, but it will always be home, and thus the Carolina Pantherettes, which I started. And now here we are. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Mac and Linda McGrath, the producers of Northeast Professional Sports. They found me last year, said they had been following my little podcast I had been doing on YouTube for like 6 years, 7 years. And they were like, actually 2023, since we're in 25 now. So it's been over a year. And I meet some really nice people over there, connect with some NFL players and such, and have them on my platform as well. And despite, the roller coaster ride we've been going through as Panther fans, we still have a sustained, commitment to the Carolina Pantherettes. And again, giving respect and gratitude to the ambassadors over there that helped me navigate that fan club. It's a private fan club for Carolina Panther ladies to join. But of course, we do have a gang of pages on all the social media. So it does get to be a lot. And so I'd like to take the time to thank Latasha, Yvonne, Cassandra, Tara, Tabby, Willetta, Brenda, Sharon, Noel, and I think I got Tabby, and I think I got everybody. But I would like to definitely thank all of those ladies for everything they do in helping me manage that. And of course, you, PINKFanFur, because you are the lady behind all the ads. You took the ball last year with me when you realized I had a lot going on and trying to start law school, and you have been an invaluable part of this team. So thank you, and thank you for the honor. You honor me by what you've said about me tonight.
Well, you got a very good testimony and a great story. And like I said, you're just an inspiration and a very good friend of mine, and I do appreciate you. So, and now we're going to talk about some football. We're going to talk about Carolina Panthers, of course. But before we do that, I want to play a little game. Okay. It's called Interview. Okay. You're on the other side and you're being interviewed. I'm doing the interviewing today. So we're going to call it Interview.
I hope I'm ready. I hope I'm ready.
You're ready. You're ready. You're ready. So, and then after we do our interview, gang, we're going to go ahead and start talking about all things football, talk about NFL around the league. But first, before we do that, we're going to talk about Panthers football. So let's go ahead and start the question and answers. All right, Miss Sonja, how long have you been a sports fan?
So I've been a sports fan all my life, but I've become an avid sports fan in around the middle 2000s, around 2010. So those years fly by. So about 14, 15 years solidly. But I've been in sports since I was a kid. I have a father that played in a local baseball league. He also coached Little League. I played every sport that I could try out and make the team for growing up: track, softball, all of that stuff. I was in marching band. So I've always liked sports. And even as a toddler, I would follow my dad to his games and his practices and everything, until one day I skinned my knee on one of those metal sliding boards. I'm dating myself here because they don't have those no more. Those were pure torture. I skinned my knee on a hot sliding board. And my great grandmother, who was still living at the time, wouldn't let me go with my dad anymore after that. So those were the days. I still remember where I was and everything when it happened.
Well, you're going to remember those traumatic times in your childhood. Do you think that was like a big inspiration for you to be into the sports field, as far as like why you like it so much, and how and how you end up, funny enough, you end up talking about it and speaking about it?
Well, actually, it kind of took a pivotal shift in maybe 2016. My uncle and I would watch games together. Like he lived in North Carolina. He was best friends with Joe Gillum, who was the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They grew up together. And he also was a Panthers fan. And so sometimes we just talk about the games all the time. And I remember the first time I went to a in-person Panthers and Falcons game, and I called him and I was like, "Oh my God, we beat y'all." And he was like, "Wait a minute, who's we?" And I was like, "The Falcons." And he was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He was like, "You might live in Atlanta, but we are never the Falcons." He was like, "This is where you were born and raised and educated. So North Carolina, no matter where you live, is going to be the team you root for." And so I never forgot that. And unfortunately, just a couple of years later, he got terminally ill and I lost him. And he was like my second dad because my own father passed away shortly after I moved to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I was trying to make sure I had it right. And so my uncle became like my second dad. And so in just like talking to him, I used to send him little video clips and I'd be like, "Hey, I just remember one day I just recorded myself and I wasn't even doing a YouTube or anything then. And I was like giving a whole little overcast of the game. And he's like, "Wow." He was like, "You sound really good. You sound like you could be Pam Oliver." I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah, you should really like do this." And I was like, "Okay." And so I did it. It started trending a little bit. And then that was around the time the Panthers went to the Super Bowl. So it really kind of took off on YouTube a little bit. And then the fan club, I used to kind of share just Panthers news in there. I really wasn't thinking about anybody else's team. Then he was just like, you know, I need you to talk about all the sports. He's like, because if you're going to do this, he was like, I could really see you doing this one day. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And so when he right before he passed away, we kind of had a conversation and I was just like, he was like, "I still think you're going to really be big, and all I want to say is I want you to always save me a seat." And he was like, "Just save me a seat." And he said, "I promise I'll be there." And I was like, "You promise?" And he was like, "Yes." And so from that point on, I mean, he passed away a few days later. It was
Mm-hmm.
devastating, Pink. I mean, I literally almost quit everything after that. I'm a season ticket holder, and you and I had a whole text exchange about me just not doing football anymore at all. And you were like, "But if you promised your uncle that, then that's what you should do." And I call him my dunkle. I have a tattoo of his name there. It says Dunkle, and it's a football, as you see. I don't know if the audience can see it, but it's in a heart. And yeah, so it's my way. He's always the left side is closest to your heart. And I feel like every time I do a show, even if I don't even have no views, I feel like he's watching. So that's what really propelled me into being the fan I am. And then now that Linda Mack picked me up, it's been everywhere. And then another network picked me up. And so I've kind of been trending a little bit. Last month,
You
over 30 days, we had 270,000 views on the social medias. That was pretty big.
Yeah, that is absolutely big. Shout out to your dad and your dunkle for being the biggest inspirations in your life. And so, without those inspirations, I mean, where would we be, And so you can
Right.
always look back on those conversations that you've had with those people who've inspired you because they've made a change in your life. And everybody out there in internet land, us super fans, people who were on the internet and talking and doing the sports talks, and we're real people. We're real people. We have real feelings and we go through a lot of different things and ups and downs just like everybody else. And so I am so happy that you decided to stay with it because I know he is watching right now. Wherever you guys are in heaven, you're watching and they're very proud of you. And everybody probably, I can speak for the Pantherettes, are very, very, very proud of you. So
And
congratulations on all of your successes. And I know that there's going to be so many more. Reason, season, and lifetime, right, girl? Right?
that's it. And thank you, Pink, for encouraging me to hang in there because it's because of you, literally, that I am still in this. So I really appreciate that so much.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Let me see what we got going on in the comments here. We've got oh, Felicia Soldier Girl, what up? What up, sister lady? She says, "What up, sister ladies?" Hello, Felicia, aka Soldier Girl. We are appreciative that you joined the show, young lady. We hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good, happy new year so far. So we're gonna continue our interview. And my next question is, I probably already know this, but I want to hear it. I'm pretty sure the audience want to hear it. Who is your favorite all-time player and why?
Without a doubt, Cam Newton, Cameron Jarrell Newton, Mr. Dab himself, Mr. May 1988, 89, one of them, I forget the birthday. I'm having a brain freeze. May 11th, I know his actual date. Absolutely my favorite athlete, no matter what. I mean, it's not just because we were winning with him, it's just the overall person he is. I've seen so much that he's done in the community here in Atlanta and continues to do. Some players, once they retire, they kind of fade out, and that's their prerogative. We don't, put them down for that. But Cam has stayed connected. He's now on ESPN. He's stayed, in the community in so many ways. And despite, personal controversies that we heard or have rumored to have heard, he's just like such a cool person. I met him a couple of times. The last time I actually met him up close, I met him in Tennessee during the undefeated season at Nissan Stadium, and was talking to him over the banister. But then last summer, I was at a restaurant here in Atlanta, and I actually met him. He came in and walked right behind me. I didn't even realize it was him. And so, yeah, he walked right behind me. Like, he almost bumped into me because it was like a close area. And so some friends I was with were like, "That's Cam Newton." I was like, "I think that's 2 Chainz." They were like, "No, it's Cam Newton." And so I walked outside and I saw him, and I was just like, and he was like, "Hi, what's your name?" And I was like, "I'm Sonja." And I could barely talk. I was like, "I am like your biggest fan. I met you a few years back, but it wasn't up close." And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "Let me get your phone. Let me get your phone." So he starts reaching for my phone. He's like, "You want to take a picture? You want to post me? You want to do a selfie?" And so he takes this selfie of us. And I was like, "Oh," I could barely get it out. And he was like, "All right, you want a hug? You want a hug?" And I was like, "I do." I was like, "I've been following you for so long. I'm such a fan." I was like, "I know everybody says I'm they're the number one fan." I said, "So I won't say that, but I am like the top fan." So I was really excited to meet him. It's crazy because for a while, some of the firms I worked with, a lot of lawyers are from Atlanta, and they had like what was called Cam Watch. Like, they would be working home or going from court or going to a restaurant for lunch, and they text me and be like, "Girl, Cam just walked in the restaurant. You've got to get here." And I'm like, I don't have an excuse to just leave work. So it was like this one attorney I know, she was like, "Girl, Cam just walked in Papados. You've got to get over here." And I was like, I can't leave work right now. So it was crazy because everybody knew how much I loved him, and they knew that they wanted me to have the opportunity to meet him. So it was an organic meeting of him. What last year was 2024. 9 years later, I finally meet him in person.
What an amazing opportunity. We've all watched him, all us Panthers fans out there. And I watched him when he was at Auburn. We watched him win the national title in 2009. Then he got selected as the number one pick. Well, he was the Heisman Trophy winner. And then he went selected as the number one pick and all that. And then we watched him come into the Panthers organization, and we never really got to meet him. Even just standing right there on the sidelines, we never really got to meet him. We didn't even get to shake his hand. So I can understand. I can't even understand or imagine how that is to meet the Cam Newton. So did you get pictures? Maybe we can share those pictures next time.
I'm getting ready to just show it to you guys because it's on my Instagram. It's actually on the Pantherettes page as the pinned picture. So there it is.
Oh, Cam Newton, if you're out there listening, we are talking about you, High Roller, the guy who put Panthers on the map.
Yes,
he got the swag in the bag. Okay. All right. That's such a very, very memorable thing. Like, amazing. Just how you probably met a lot of celebrities and just doing what you do. And sometimes we get to meet celebrities and sometimes we don't, just being regular fans, but you probably had a lot more people that you've met than we have. My next question is, because you are a Carolina Panthers fan, and we're going to talk about Panthers football in just a minute. Don't worry. Do not worry. What is your most memorable season in the Carolina Panthers football season since we've been in existence?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the undefeated season, the one that we only fell to the Falcons. That was such an adrenaline rush. And to see the increase in numbers for the membership. I remember one day in the Pantherettes group, this is when I knew I couldn't run the page by myself anymore. Back then I was running the page by myself. We had like 250 members. I went to church. There was a game played. I got out of church. There were 1,200 requests to join the group, like legitimate requests to join. And I was just going through check. And that's when I was like, okay, I can't run this group anymore. So I reached out to my friend Latasha Shaw Peterker, and I was like, girl, because we grew up together. I was like, this sports thing that I've been doing, I was like, it's taking off. I really need your help. She's like, what do you want me to do? I said, let me figure out how to add you to this page, because I wasn't familiar with how to do any of that on Facebook. I was like, I need to either have you log in as me or something, but I can't, like, it's a lot. And it went from 1,200 to one day it was 2,000. And at first I was like, is there a glitch with Facebook? And one day we were adding so many people that Facebook halted us for 8 hours. They were like,
broke the internet.
Facebook halted us. They said we were on an 8-hour freeze because there was an insurmountable amount of requests to join the group. So I remember that. That's my season. I mean, everybody was dabbing all over the world, even non-Panther fans. We got so many people, especially Miami Dolphin fans. Kathy Coachman, one of my sorors, she became a Pantherette, an honorary Pantherette, just because she was supporting the the undefeated season behind the Shula era in Miami. And so, I mean, it was just a great time, Pink. I mean, I'm sure you agree. Everybody loves to win, but it wasn't just the wins. It was just the whole energy. It literally was like revitalized football. It was football for everybody, the entire family, and everybody, because they brought family, faith, football, and fun all in one. And so,
all in that order.
I've seen a picture of them kneeling, praying. I've seen the dabs. The kids love that. And then of course the whole family just was enjoying it. It was just a time to be alive. And on top of that, it was 15. So 15, another F, I'm all into all that stuff. So
it was in 15. I remember 15.
Yes.
Where were you? Like, were you in Atlanta at the time? Because I know I was at what is known as Fort Bragg, but now Fort Liberty. I was there in 15, and when we went to the Super Bowl in 16, I had this big party.
Yeah, I've been in Atlanta since 2001. I've been here a long time. I moved from North Carolina in 98 when I graduated college, and moved to Virginia for like 2.5 years. And then I've moved here, and last year made me be living here longer than I lived in North Carolina, because I left Carolina when I was 23.
Okay. All right. Well, that's such a great memory. We're all going to remember that Super Bowl era when we went, and it was so devastating when we lost that game to the Broncos. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday, that first snap was like, oh, here we go, but for us to have gotten there twice, we've gotten there. So we just need to get there again and win.
Yeah, the first one I don't really remember like that. I was in college and I was trying to graduate and just, party central, all that stuff. And it was the inception of the team too. So during that time, I was kind of just trying to come away from supporting the Redskins, now Commanders. I was a Redskins fan. And so I was like, the Panthers, what? We got a team, and they're in the Super Bowl. Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have never watched our Super Bowl in its entirety. I was watching it, and I've never emotionally been able to finish it, because I went over to a friend's house. Matter of fact, my best friend, she's a Falcons fan. Everybody over there had small kids. I was irate because I couldn't hear the calls. I felt like y'all are just supporting us because it's Cam and he's from Atlanta. Y'all really don't want us to win, because y'all know if we win, y'all gonna be the only ringless team. So I was going off on everybody. I left at halftime crying. I left her house in tears, like somebody had died, and I went home and got into bed. And I only knew we lost for sure the next morning when I woke up and I saw the score everywhere. I could barely go to work. It literally felt like somebody died because I just knew we would win. I was already mad of all things that Atlanta messed up our perfect record of all the teams because I went in there cocky. I mean, I was talking junk to everybody. They were like, "Oh, I was like the lone panther in this crowd of people going in, and I was like, yeah, we just here because y'all on the schedule. Who gonna beat us?" And I started running through. I was like, this person didn't beat us. This person, they were like, "Oh, we can't wait for you to come out." I was like, I could barely get out of my seat. I almost wrecked my car arguing with Falcons fans when I left that game because I was so mad. I was talking about their mamas, everything. I was livid. Let me tell you, mad, because I was like, of all teams, I have to live here and work with these people, and they're gonna talk crap all week. And so when we lost it, when that ball was snapped for me, though, Pink, when they came out, to me, the energy was way off. This was not the team that I had seen all year. And for me, I was already on heightened alert. Before they came out, I was hyped up all week. Dan Patrick and Todd Fritz, who I had on my show one time. I had Todd Fritz on last year for the Dan Patrick show. They were talking about how defense wins championships. Okay, Denver had a little something, but we were stacking on both sides of the ball. So I went into the game thinking we just here to, check the box and just get the t-shirt at the end. This gonna be a piece of cake. When they came out, their aura was different, and I felt it through the TV. And I literally said, before everybody was like screaming, the kids and stuff was all over the place, I was like, oh no, something is off with this team. Thomas Davis had this surgery on his arm, and that, they were still gonna be there. They just looked like somebody had told them in the locker room, y'all just here to fulfill this part in the Manning industry and the Manning era, and that's gonna be it. I mean, it's almost literally like they looked angry. They didn't look happy. They didn't look necessarily serious. They looked hurt already, like emotionally hurt. And I picked up on that.
I think we all picked up on it, but I too, like you was very emotional about it simply because we had finally made it. And I cried. I don't know about you. I was literally angry. I was angry and crying at the same time. I didn't finish the game either. And I just couldn't even sleep that night. Just crying.
I still haven't watched it.
Isn't it so weird how emotional we get when it comes to these sports? Because sports is just like it's an ingrained and indoctrinated in the fiber of our being. And it's like this thing that we just love so much. Like why do we even allow this thing to take over us sometimes like this? Like it's crazy. Are we crazy?
I guess we are, Pink. And that's why I absolutely love you. Cause I remember like the first group that we got together to do a Panthers game with some of the ladies, and I screamed until I could taste blood in the back of my throat. And the girls were like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you were that hype." I'm like, "Yes, don't let the picture fool you. There is nothing dainty about me at all. Like, I am a G with it. I'm a tomboy. Like, I love this team. Like, I was screaming, I mean, win, lose, or draw until I almost passed out. Like, the last time I gave that much energy, I gave them that much energy in 23 for a Falcons game. The one game we should have went to yesterday, we didn't go. I've been going every year, and I didn't go yesterday, and that's the one I wish I went to so I could have shown my butt. But I'm always the one that fans be threatening to call the number on me. That's the kind of fan I am.
We're gonna have to put a jail over there. But we've got some comments. We got Felicia said, "Did I hear that Sonja may be leaving? I don't know where she got that. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, but maybe you can answer that." And then she says, "That's awesome. Cam is the number one." And then we got James Martin in the house. What up, ladies? Sis got my phone back. Thank God, he said.
Oh, thank God. So let me see. Did I hear Sonja may be leaving? Okay, so no, I'm in law school for those of y'all who don't know. So I've kind of taken not really a back seat. I'm still doing everything. The ladies really, really help me run the group. I'm in Pink. I literally am only in there every now and then. You guys, this is my first semester of law school, and it has been extremely challenging, but a blessing. And for anybody that's gone through doctoral level studies, especially on the medical side or legal side, they know 1,000%. It's nothing like getting your master's. I've done that. This is a whole different thing. It's like being brainwashed. So, long story short, I'm not leaving. I'm still there. My classes do start a week from today, so I'm enjoying the last part of my little break, but I've already gotten assignments. And so I'm there, but I'm just am in a limited capacity. So don't worry, Phyllis. But Felicia, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we're glad you're staying. James said, much love to you, much to y'all, Panthers. Bryce, you the future. Hey, yeah. We are going to talk about the Panthers in the second half too here in a few minutes. But so thank you guys all for tuning in. We still got one more question for you, Miss Sonja.
Okay.
Because we were talking about the Super Bowl, what are your predictions for the Super Bowl and why?
So I'm seeing a Lions and Bills
NFC
Super
runs
Bowl.
the NFC. We're going to talk about the playoff picture here in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Lions. I'm seeing the Lions for the NFC
and the one Bills. Seed in the NFC.
Yep, and the Bills for the AFC. I'm seeing the Chiefs getting set down.
Number 2 in the AFC are the Bills.
Yep, that's who I got. 1 and 2 with the Lions.
That's so good. I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. So I'm thinking as we go and start rolling over into the second half of the show, since it's 8:30, let's talk some Carolina football first. All right. And then we'll talk about, news around the league. I'll let you do your thing on that. You guys know I'm not an expert on news around the league. I know a lot, but I don't know a lot. And then we're gonna talk about playoff picture, what that's looking like, and then we're gonna close it out with some predictions with the wild card week coming up. But with that being said, week 18 NFL is a wrap. Finale was yesterday. Let's talk about the winners, the losers. But first,
that video.
Sonja wants to present this video because this is a great introduction into Carolina Panthers football.
It is.
All our Panthers fans out there, where you at? Where you at?
I'm definitely about to go ahead and present this nice video for everybody in case anybody missed it. Here we go. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen. I'm going to do a window. Yep, I got it right here. I'm going to do my entire screen. I'm going to hit.
Shout out to Matt Catta. Victory Monday, ladies.
What's up, Catta?
How you doing, man?
Cheers. Cheers. Here we go. All righty. Now let me go over here to it. Let me know that you can see it before I start. Can you see it, Pink?
All I see is me and you. Pink. All I see is prim, proper, pink, and pretty.
Oh, no. Hold on. I got to come out. I just realized something. Hold on. It's not going to be that.
It's all good. It is all good. Shout out to Victory Monday, everybody. How about all those Panthers? Even though we had a pretty bad season, we had a pretty good finale on yesterday.
It was a beautiful finale. Beautiful finale.
Shout out to my Panthers if y'all listening. We love you guys.
We love you. And here is the video. Let me know when you can see it, Pink. I'm getting ready to open it now. Let me know when you actually see it pop up. I want to make sure this shows. Oh, you know what? I don't know when it comes up. Here it goes. It's there.
Hey.
So right now we've got the ball separate. Now he reconnects. Both toes still there, ruling on the field stands. Short of the line to gain one. So now a 4th down.
Beautiful play. Ooh, trembling all over the place.
Tommy Tremble, tight end.
Yes,
Look at us.
Look at us. Yes, we did.
We've got a rookie quarterback playing well in Atlanta, second-year quarterback continuing to grow and elevate his play in Carolina. And he knew it before the ball even got there. Whew. That was Steph Curry throwing up the 3 and retreating without even seeing it. Knew it as he released the football. The touchdown was there. So that came off the interception
Woo! John 3:16. Yes, I had to actually definitely capture that because he threw up the threes. He threw that pass and turned his back like it's either there or not. And I'm like, yes, Bryce, we're here for it.
Bryce up, son. Bryce up, son. Bryce, yes. Bryce, baby. Bryce, yes. Cheers to you, Bryce. Cheers to you. Carolina Panthers, baby.
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling, locking and loading. Speaking of which,
the A was real down. The A was real down. When they say A-Town up, A-Town down, they was real down. Them Falcons did not rise up. They were plucked and grounded.
And we stopped them very short of making the playoffs, thanks to us and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they were out with us regardless. They were out with us. They had already lost to Washington. They had to win to stay in. We made sure that didn't happen. And thank you, Felicia. She said, sweet.
Yeah, she's old now. She's talking about, hey, who else we got going on? We got, Mad Cat said, so happy for BY9.
Be Wheezy.
Yeah, let's talk about that because we talked about going to this game and we were like, well, I don't know because of that emotional thing. We don't want to go and we don't want to watch our team lose. We don't ever want to do that. But sometimes we just go for the fellowship and the food and the fun and all that. But again, for us super fans who have to travel, it takes money and time and resources. And then for you have to travel from where you live to get down to the stadium, deal with traffic and all that. But then the same game at the same time, the game we said we wanted to go but didn't go, we should have went.
Girl, you had just came from Tampa and watching them get a whole arse, as the country folks say, arse tore out. They don't say the ASS, they say arse.
It was, and you don't want to go through that, especially after spending money to get there, and then you got to drag all of your fits with you. You got to it's a lot. It's a lot involved when you have to travel as a super fan. Everybody knows that. But the game itself, let's talk about that. Did you see the time when he threw the touchdown and Bryce Young just turned around? He was like,
that was the clip I just showed. That was the Steph Curry. He tossed it and turned.
That to me was so funny. Like,
he was getting cocky with him at that point. That's why I was like, oh, you know what? And then I was like, the crazy thing is they had just got Adam Thielen for a catch, but his toe was out. The Raheem challenged it because he said he wanted it to be 4th and 1. They didn't want them to get the first down. And so basically earlier in the game, Drake London had a catch that they reversed, and then they ran the same play against our defense, and Drake London caught it and then stood over like, yeah, I got it now. So it was basically Bryce's way of saying, okay, tit for tat. You guys said Adam didn't catch that. I'll make sure it goes all the way in this time. And that's why I was like, yes, Bryce, I'm here for the giggles and the ish.
And how you like me now. And speaking of, he had what? Now his percentage just throwing passing rate yesterday was 73.5%. And according to the stats, he was 255. He had 255 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Let's talk about that. That was a nearly perfect game.
Yes, no interceptions. They protected the ball. It was a very high offense the entire game. Nobody slowed down. They were doing a couple no huddle calls. They got on the board early, and so did Atlanta, 3-3, like off the rip. Then the second, it was like every quarter. The second quarter, 14-21. We were now down by 7 points at the half. We had to kick it up. Third quarter, they left Atlanta scoreless, and that's when it helped them. They got up 14, and the fourth quarter, I was a little worried. They were starting to, kind of get off the gas a little bit. That defense was tired because Atlanta's offense, considering they put Michael Penix Jr. in there, they were playing lights out. Let's be clear. They've been playing lights out. And just having him in there look like that, even with their defense, is solid. And so Bryce was smart enough to call heads. Heads was advantageous to us because we got the ball first, and he made sure they never got it back. And that's exactly what had happened to them the previous week with Washington. And so I'm excited 44-38, overtime. I don't care if we ain't win. Every season I say, I don't care if we don't win near another game, as long as we beat the Buzzards. And every year for the last 5 years, we've at least beat them once, and I'm happy with it.
We're so happy we got that swag. Like, we've always had the swag. He brings the swag to me. And then Kata says, that's the swag I've been waiting to see from Rice. It's over for the NFC South now. It's over.
It's definitely over. So for
Way
real, Pink, that's not even just saying nothing. If you look at the stats, the last time, every game we've come through this season, it's been by most of the time one score. It's only been a couple of games we all out lost. The last time we were like that, we went to the Super Bowl the very next season. It's over. It's over for the South.
I agree.
It is over for the South.
Remember all of those close games, like you just mentioned, the overtime games with Kansas City, Tampa, Philadelphia. Those games there, those are the games that gave us the confidence and the will, the fortitude to realize this is who we are, this is what we do. And I think that all of those experiences for the last few games have led to that one event that happened yesterday. It culminated all the way up until yesterday. And then you've seen a damn near perfect game. Like, this is what it is. This is what we look like. And everybody left there happy as hazies.
I mean, if you just allow me a second, Pink, just to put the facts out there for you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Blown out by the New Orleans Saints in the very beginning when they were blowing everybody out, and Tampa Bay in the end. We literally started the opener 47-10. Okay, so what? Second game, 26-3. Okay, yeah, we got blown out by them. Then we beat the Raiders 36-22, lost to the Bengals by 10, lost to the Bears, and that was a shocker. So that's 3 games we got basically beat down 36-10. Falcons beat us by 18. I guess we can go ahead and count that as a real game. Commanders beat the crap out of us. That's 5 games we should have lost off the rip. And then the Broncos 14. The Saints, we lost by 1 point the second time. We beat them by 1 point. So we don't count that one. We beat the Giants. The Chiefs, overtime. I'm not counting that. Y'all cheated. That Adam Thielen catch was a freaking catch. It's the chefs and the refs. Chefs and the refs. And we didn't get a chance to go overtime.
You mean the Kansas City Thieves?
The Thieves. You're right. Buccaneers went overtime, barely beat us.
Pirates.
So right now, I'm only at 6 games that we've lost straight out. Oh, and the Cowboys, they put it on us 30-14. So 7. So out of an 18-week game, and Tampa Bay, 8 games. We should have at least been 8-8. We should have been at 500. 9-8. And so to see us end like that with everybody steps it up in the division. Like, you could play like whatever. Look at what the Bears did to Green Bay. And they put Jordan Love up out of the game. Yeah. Anything can happen when it's a division.
Everything changes when you're when at the end of the season, but something just clicked. And let me tell you, viewers out there in internet land, this girl right here, Miss Sonja Pearson, she knows her stats. Okay. I'm not a stat person. But she knows her stats when it comes to sports and football. That's why she has All Things Football from a lady's perspective, Prim and Proper Sports. By the way, before we start talking about the playoff picture or news around the NFL, tell us about when you air your shows, because she has her own 2. She has her own 2 or 3 shows. Tell the audience about when you air your shows and what do you do on your shows.
So I air live on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, 9 Eastern Standard Time. That is my regular Prim and Proper Sports show on Wednesday. And then on Fridays, I have my Friday with the Fellas theme that I have on J Train, who is a New Orleans Saints fan, Kevo, who is an Atlanta Falcons fan. And from time to time, I also have another brother from another mother, Fern, who is a Giants fan, where he comes on with me sometimes. And then Pink, I have you on there, and kind of like, I have a lot of guests on there. I have everything from hockey to boxing to baseball experts. Yeah. I've had people that write for the Boston Globe, NFL retired players. And it's on Northeast Professional Sports on Roku and YouTube, and it re-airs at night, like 2:00 in the morning. And my other show airs on Thursday nights and Saturday afternoons on the Huddle Sports Network, which is a network near the Chicago area. And that's going to be Central Standard Time, like 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturdays and 8 p.m. Thursday nights, which will be a reprise of the previous day's show.
All right, you got a lot going on, but you forgot about the Sunday morning show.
I was about to say, before I go on, I'm a guest on the Sunday morning football show. I'm kind of like a co-host with Mac, Jack, Keith Angle, J Train, Pags, the Philly sports guy, and myself. They've made me an official partner over there with them on Sundays. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 is the show before the show. And we talk all sports. And so once the football season wraps up, we kind of talk about NBA and other stuff as well. And on Sunday night, I'm on NFL Download as a guest sometimes. That's a recap of the Sunday afternoon games. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Wednesday at 6 p.m., which is before my show, Eastern Standard Time, is the Northeast Professional Sports Show. So I'm on almost every day.
She's all over the place, guys and girls. She's all over the place. So we appreciate all the information that you put out for us. We enjoy watching you. And I definitely enjoy coming on your show too as well. Before we get around to news around the NFL, let's talk real quick about who do you feel like, based on the game yesterday, who were the standouts? We've got Adam Thielens, we've got the Jalen Cokers, we've got, tight end Tommy Tremble. Who you thinking of the tight end or are the standouts from yesterday's game?
Yeah, definitely Tommy Tremble, but we've seen him a couple of times, throughout the season look really good. I just like the way the offense overall stepped up without Chuba Hubbard. I mean, that was a big miss on the offense. And for them to fill in the gaps on that and, get more targets to Thielen and Tremble, as well as Coker. There's a gentleman, I can't think of his name, the fill-in running back. Even Xavier Legette, he had a couple of big catches. He had a couple of big catches of the day. And considering the Panthers are the number one team with injuries for this season, they've had 72 different players fill in for other spots. It's the number one NFL injured team this entire season, including the quarterback, with Andy Dalton coming out with that small accident he had and Bryce coming back to his position. They've had 72 different starters. And so the fact that they were able to do that and still win 3 more games than last season, and the maturation of Bryce was just amazing to watch, is really big. Shaq Thompson, huge cornerstone person out on the defense. And even J.C. Horn is as of yesterday's game. And so it showed, Shaq, you are missed. If you're seeing this, because sometimes they interact with our Twitter account, you are absolutely missed. The leadership at a minimum is missed on the congealing of that defense. So I would definitely say, and first and foremost, Bryce absolutely stood out. I mean, this guy dropped in the pocket. He took sacks. He kept it moving. He kept it with a smile, never lost his cool. He seemed centered, controlled, poised, and focused. And so
and confident.
I was excited.
Miles of smiles coming from Bryce Young.
Oh, and speaking of Miles Sanders, welcome back.
Miles Sanders back from injury. Yep. Miles Sanders. Shout out to Miles Sanders from Philadelphia. And, I felt like I was watching an old Alabama team game play as it was going back and forth, but it was exciting to watch. We've got some comments coming in. OMG, that's it. Say Blue Phoenix in the house. Bryce has turned the corner in his growth.
What's up, Frat?
Okay. What's up, Blue Phoenix? What's going on with you? We like you for liking our Bryce Young because we know he's an Alabama fan, and I'm gonna put a plug in for Alabama Crimson Tide too, because that's where he came from. That's where he was born, and we raised him. And so Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 pick in the 2023 draft. I was a witness, and I think everybody, even the owner, David Tepper, said today, I think late in the news, said, I think we've got our quarterback.
Yeah. And you know what? I just have to say, shout out to David Tepper for taking a step back. Tepper took a stepper back, okay? And we're glad for it. last year he was tossing Cavassier on fans in Jacksonville and just being everywhere that, we didn't want him to be, and just all in management. It's great to see that Canales has kept his job and that Bryce has kept his job. And we look like we may not be going into a season of more rebuilding, but we'll actually be able to go into maturing and maturation for the next segment, even though the rumor is out that they may be cleaning house on the defense with Everson. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I call him. He's under the Frank Wright era and has 21 seasons of coaching as a defensive coordinator in the league. And so I don't know if moving him is going to be the right thing, but the defense does need some work. I'd like to think it's just simply because we, are missing the head like Shaq Thompson. But if they think, it's time to clean house and Canales has somebody up his sleeve that could be really good, especially like maybe a former head coach that is on the chopping block right now, like an Antonio Pierce or Mike McCarthy, who are probably going to end up coming up. I mean, even Jared Mayo, who lost his job yesterday from the Patriots, then, I'm all for it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we don't know. A lot of things happen after the end of the season. The finale was great, be that as it may. OMG, that's it, says, what up, Soror?
Hey, OMG.
That's out for you. Y'all still rebuilding, build the defense. We got about 9 minutes left, and we appreciate all of you guys tuning in tonight. This is actually our debut of Prim, Proper, Pink, and Pretty. So let's talk about news around the league. Like, you're the expert in the news around the league, and then talk about the playoff picture going forward. And we'll close out with predictions of the wild card weekend. What you say? Okay. What you say?
Yeah, I was saying we actually can go over a little bit since we're not on the main network tonight. This is kind of unlimited, so it's as long as you need it to go. And that way we don't feel rushed. When we're on the network, we have an hour limit because other shows are behind my show. So this one we're a little bit more free, a little less, time constricted. So whatever.
Yay, break out the streamers and the balloons and the wine.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Big games going on. Week 18 playoff picture was especially competitive in the NFC. AFC not so much. I feel like it's going to be very interesting coming up Saturday, this weekend. That's going to start to eliminate some people. That wild card is going to be like, oh, we made the playoffs, but then, oh no, we didn't, because somebody's going to go home. Tampa's playing right away, and they're playing that next to the seed. I'll give you the rundown real quick. They're playing, I think, the Philadelphia. No, they played them last year. So the playoff games that are coming up for the NFL wild cards, the AFC first game is the Chargers and the Texans game. That's going to be coming up at 4:30 on Saturday. So 1:11 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be the Chargers and the Texans. After that, you got the Steelers and Ravens game. Can you believe one of those teams is going to be going home at 8 p.m.? That's insane.
I believe OMG, that's it, is a Steelers fan.
Yeah, one of them are going home. One of them are going home.
Pittsburgh Steelers versus, yep, she's a Steelers fan through and through. And what are they talking about? Yep, bye-bye Pittsburgh going home. Wait a minute, OMG, that's it. I thought you were a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, if they play like they did the other night with Russell Wilson giving the ball to everybody but his teammates, they're going to be out real quick.
She said, yes, indeed. Tasha Mika say, yes, indeed. She's not afraid to just tell it like it is. Hey, yes, we know that you're a fan, but if your team is not doing well, your team's not doing well.
Exactly. And so then that ends all of the Saturday games. So, they alternate between AFC and NFC. So they're doing AFC games first. Then on Sunday, you have a continuation of the AFC, which is Broncos and Bills at 1:00. And then they give you a reprieve. And the 4:30 game, they start delving into the NFC matchups. The 4:30 game is the Eagles and the Packers. It's going to be really important to see if Jordan Love is well enough to play in that game. He injured his throwing elbow. So that's going to be big as to who wins that game. The Eagles have been playing lights out, And I'm afraid that may cost the Packers that game. Even if he's playing and he's still injured, it's probably going to be a game over for the Packers. That night at 8 o'clock, it's the Commanders and the Buccaneers. Either Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield are going home that night at 8 o'clock. And then Monday night's game, they're going to go ahead and wrap up the weekend to make sure everybody's had a chance to either be eliminated or move on. It's going to be the big Vikings-Rams game. Sam Darnold versus Stafford, the gunslinger, straight out of the Rams, 8 p.m. on Monday, January 13th. And that's going to be the end of the wild card divisions. The next weekend is to be determined. It'll kick off on Saturday, and it will be the divisional rounds where the winners of each of the previous games in their divisions go on to meet other people, and then so on until everybody is down to 2 teams, one from each division.
There you have it. You have your wild card game scheduled for this weekend. Coming up, we've got Tasha Mika says, I'm a fan, but they played terrible their last 4 games. Mm-hmm. And Blue Phoenix says Packers going home. Well, Blue Phoenix, no OMG, that's it. Said Packers going home, Baker going home, Vikings going home.
Well, we see what
we got. Who's going back home to the Fort living room?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the good thing about it is, the Eagles are only having to play because they slipped to number 2 with that Detroit win. So Detroit and Kansas City are at home right now, chillaxing. They don't even have to get involved to another week or 2. And so it's going to be important also because you remember Jalen Hurts, no pun intended, has been injured. He's been hurt. So he's been out for a couple of weeks. He was concussed, and then he may have had some other smaller injury. But he's definitely going to be playing. He definitely should be ready to go. And the Eagles have been playing lights out. Look for Saquon Barkley to go ahead and break Eric Dickerson's record. It's only 200 yards he needs, and he's going to make sure that he does what he needs to do.
He is going to do what he needs to do. And Felicia says, great show, ladies. Good night. Good night, Felicia, Soldier Girl. Army strong.
Eagles are playing the Packers. Somebody asked that question.
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very exciting weekend. This is where a lot of people who don't really watch football come in and they start watching the playoffs.
Or like I used to do, once my team was eliminated, I'm done. But now I have a propensity to support Detroit. I literally have just really been loving the Dan Campbell story, loving the fact that they've never gone to a Super Bowl. I mean, it's only 4 teams out there that have never gone, and they're one of them. And they came so close last year, and Dan Campbell was so transparent about how difficult it is to get back down to that role of the playoffs, and here they are again. And I am a huge supporter of them going all the way and winning.
They played a great game yesterday. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, Sam Darnold, for the first time, at least some of the facial expressions they were showing, he looked like he was a little shook. And he almost looked Pantherish, like some of the Pantherish Sam Darnolds we've seen. I mean, I thought he was gone, but he showed up a little bit last night.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, well, maybe it's just me, but I was thinking the same thing when he was like scrambling around. Then he didn't really seem sure. Like, this is what he did when he was with us. And then, okay, did he revert back to who he really is? Or what's happening here?
I know him. There he is. That's what I was thinking.
Me and you were thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is reminiscent of when he was back with us with the Panthers. He didn't do a damn thing.
Right.
Then he goes out to the Vikings and he shows out. And then when you get in this big game like last night, that was a must-win situation. And you get in there and you're like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? Should I throw it over here? Should I throw it over there? What should I do? Should I scramble? Should I run? What?
Exactly.
Like, that's Pantherish. Pantherish. I don't think he ever really wanted to be there. I don't think he really wanted to be with us anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so. The writing was on the wall. And, let's be clear. The Vikings are still very formidable in a playoff run. Let's not get it twisted. All these teams that are in the playoffs, including Kansas City, have had very suspect games. And any of them can be taken down. That's why it's the best of the best, the cream of the crop. The competition has stiffened because this is the elite.
Well, I think what was happening was they were actually trying to rush the passer last night in that game with the Lions and the Vikings, and we haven't seen a lot of that. And that's what you need to do. And I think that's one of the strategies that you got to have going in is you got to start really playing more aggressive ball. You got to start rushing the passer. You got to, force some fumbles. You got to do something, anything to win this game that's not going to be illegal.
Yeah, definitely so. And that's 1,000% true. And these teams cannot go into the playoffs playing like they've played. No matter who they played, who they beat, XYZ, they can't play the same style of football because, like you said, this is the best of the best. And everybody's the best on this level.
Everybody's the best on this level. OMG, that's it. Said, man, that was an awesome game. LOL, Pantherish. Well, he didn't have an offensive line in Pantherville.
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
Line, but they've made do with what we've gotten, and I'm actually okay with the O-line we have now. They've gotten some draft investment. They're getting a draft pick from Baltimore. Shout out to the trade from Deontay Johnson, who for some reason has now gone to 2 different teams and refuses to take the field for anybody. So good thing we went ahead and got rid of that and got a trade perspective, even though Baltimore is probably going to be like pick number, I don't know, 28 or 29 by the time it's over with, unless they go all the way. And then we got the last pick. But we got to give Chicago back one last pick for Bryce. We finally going to be paying them in full this draft.
You're and still then in debt.
This last pick, we owe them, I think, a second rounder, and then that's it.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm still contemplating going to the draft. After seeing that game yesterday, it kind of motivated me to be like, okay, I don't know. I'm kind of wanting to go to the draft now, but then I'm thinking I really don't want to travel all the way to where is it going to be, Green Bay? And it's so expensive.
But this is the thing. So I may be going because I got to figure it all out. And if I go, you got to come, Pink. I may be going to do a debut with Dennis Cockerman and the Trailer Park Country Band. They want me to sing or read. I have not been able to, I have not been able to get that together. They were at the draft this year. And so
I know.
They've been invited.
I was there. They were the band at the party. They were the band at the summit party.
Yeah, they've been invited to come to the draft by the NFL next year. And so I'm trying to get it together. It's just everything going on with school has got kind of like me everywhere. So I got to just figure out how that's going to work because that's in April. And April may be my finals, and that may be a time I cannot travel. So we'll have to just see.
Well, I would definitely, if I were you, look at the schedule, see what days your finals are on, see what days the drafts are on. I believe the draft is the 26th, 27th, and 28th. Yeah. But it really depends on what day. If you can just squeeze out a day just to go and do that performance, I would. Yeah. I mean,
I literally have to fly up and probably fly right back. And I've never flown into Green Bay. I don't even know. I've always flown into Chicago. I know Waukegan and all that is right there. And I think when I went to the last time I flew into Chicago, there was a lot of people with Green Bay stuff on there. There was a game that weekend. So I've heard that a lot of Packers fans fly into Midway or O'Hare, one of those. I don't remember which one I flew into, maybe Midway. But yeah, they were renting cars and like driving to Wisconsin. So if that's quicker, then I guess I'll fly into Chicago. I have to kind of map it all out.
Okay. Well, keep me posted. Congratulations on your selection to go sing that. And shout out to Dennis Cockerman and his band. I know you
watching. What's up, Dennis? Trailer Park Country.
Trailer Park Country. We got that. We got the Trailer Park Country. Oh, yeah, they're a great band. You guys should check them out. I've featured some of their songs on your reels as well.
They're really talented, and they're everywhere. And follow their page and just a group. They're out of like the Sioux Falls, North Dakota, South Dakota area. They're like if you go see them, you're literally going to see them because I don't know nobody that's ever been to South Dakota, but it's beautiful there. I need to go.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now let's talk a little bit about, we talked about the playoff picture. Um, we're not gonna really know what the rest of the playoff picture looks like until we finish this weekend coming up. Let's talk about your predictions for the winners and losers for the weekend.
Oh my gosh. So OMG, that's it. Put all those people in there that he or she felt like as frat as a guy that he felt like was gonna lose. My predictions are as follows. I feel like the Chargers are gonna beat the Texans. CJ Stroud has been in through this whole sophomore slump as of late. And I'm just not that sold on them. Meanwhile, the Chargers have just been playing lights out. I think they'll eke by the Texans. I think it'll be a close game, maybe 7 points or less. But the game is in Texas, so you never know. D'Amico Ryans may be able to pull it out. Right now, I'm sold on the Chargers, even though the Texans, the crazy thing is they won their division, but they already played in the wild card. That's because they were seeded less, kind of like Tampa Bay. But they won their division. The Blue Phoenix says he agrees with the Chargers. The Steelers and Ravens game, I feel like the Steelers are definitely going home. The way they've been playing, Mike Tomlin, Justin Fields, and all of them are out of there. And Justin Fields is probably going to be traded in the offseason to another team because I don't see him coming back to Pittsburgh behind Russell Wilson again. The Broncos-Bills game, even though Sean Payton has been putting up a lot of high-powered offense, and we're seeing glimpses of the Broncos that we've seen from, the time that we went to the Super Bowl with them.
This is not Manning era.
Yes, the Manning era. This is not the same Broncos team, even though he's trying to reignite them, and that's awesome. But Josh Allen being the position, the Bills that they are not going to stand for that. This game is in Bills Mafia. So sometimes it's the elements of the weather as well. Broncos not going to have that altitude to their advantage. They're going to have to deal with this snow, the real snow from the Niagara Falls area. Getting it done.
Yeah.
And it really is going to be bad snow because they're calling for snow here around that same time. So I can imagine, I think it's up and down the whole eastern seaboard. It's going to be getting this winter storm Blair. I think I got an alert from FedEx today. They've named it Winter Storm Blair. And they're talking about like delays of packages because of this winter storm. And
I gotta stop you for a second. Blue Phoenix said we got some. Wait a minute, we're not gonna have no fist bumping in the comments. Blue Phoenix said, "Yep, Steelers are gone." Tasha Mika Daw said, "Whatever."
Yeah, they said whatever. They saying what she said. Whatever. Steelers.
I thought she said that they was losing anyway. I mean, come on, somebody.
She might be talking about the Chargers Texans game, but she could clarify. That 4:30 game, Packers and Eagles, it's gonna be. I think the Eagles are gonna win regardless. They got Jalen Hurts coming back and Saquon Barkley. Even if Jordan Love plays,
don't forget him.
Who?
Devontae Smith, wide receiver number 1.
Oh yeah, he was on my fantasy, and A. Brown. They both were on my fantasy that I've been eliminated from because I lost. Oh, okay. I was in the OMG page. Okay, no worries. All right, so yeah, that game, Eagles are going to do it, and it's in Philly. Those fans are not going for no L as hard as they fought. They were eliminated the first round last year by Tampa Bay. They're not trying to go through that with Green Bay this year. Not another Bay. Okay, not 2 Bays in a row that's going to beat them. Let's see. The next game, Sunday at 8 o'clock, Commanders and Buccaneers. Jaden Daniels, I think you've had a great run in the NFL. You've had a very stellar introduction. You probably will be rookie of the year. Without a doubt. You have literally showed up and showed improved in a very big way. But I think it's time for you to pack up your locker room, even though I really kind of hope the Commanders do win. It's nothing like having an NFC South team represent that's not the Falcons or the Saints. And so I would put my support behind former Carolina Panther Baker Mayfield, and it's in Tampa Bay, so they got home advantage.
Yes.
Vikings and Rams game. Mr. Stafford, your time has been appreciated. It's time for the Darnold show. The NFC North has been the division to contend with all season long. And so it's like NFC North versus basically the Eagles as far as what it's going to come down to. I've said that the entire season. And so those are my predictions.
There you go. There her predictions. We got Blue Phoenix said Philly is winning, and then Tasha Doss Howard says, I am a Steelers fan, periodic, but it ain't over till it's over. And then Blue Phoenix says Bucks are going home. The Commanders have the better defense. What are you thinking about that? Because that you picked the total opposite of that team.
Yeah, so I don't. To me, it's it's not. This is not a defense situation right now. Defense is usually as the process moves on to the closing finale, like the big games. I'm being honest with you guys. I really feel like Washington has made a very. I mean, it is Dan Quinn. He's a veteran head coach. He is a defensive coordinator from the Cowboys. I may be wrong on this one, but I just don't think with the way Tampa basically keeps everybody off the field, I don't see that happening. Mike Evans just got a $3 million bonus because he's had 1,000 yards every season he's played for the last 11 years. And so he was rewarded with a $3 million bonus after the game a couple of days ago. And so I'm thinking Tampa's going to continue to do what they do. Blue Phoenix says, preach, defense wins games. Yeah, it wins championships. Defense wins championships.
Yeah, well, maybe that thing is turned over. You got to have some offense, because if we're talking about defense winning games, it wasn't the defense with the Kansas City that won the last two games, was it? It was the offense.
Kansas City, I told you it's the chefs and the refs. And they had like this thing going around. They had this one referee that every time he refed and it happened to be a close game with them, they somehow miraculously got through it. So yeah, Jaden Daniels is from here. So yeah, I love Jaden. Okay. I want him to get rookie of the year and all that good stuff. I just believe that it's going to come down to experience on this one. And Baker Mayfield, at this point, they didn't just sneak in. Y'all saw what they did last year against the Eagles. It's like once they get to the playoffs, everybody steps it up. And I think I'm going to check and see if Chris Godwin is coming back. If Chris Godwin's coming back, it's a wrap. Let me see, because he's been out injured. Let me see if Chris Godwin's coming back.
Kansas City needs to get booted. I agree. Now, speaking of Kansas City, let's talk real quick about what is his name? Play for the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill. Did you hear the news about him?
Yeah, real quick, Pink. I just looked, and they are saying it's possible that Chris Godwin could come back for the playoffs. Todd Bowles, their coach, left the possibility open for the wide receiver returning in the postseason. He had surgery in October, so it's going to depend on how much he's healed up. And he was out for the regular season only. I'm telling you right now, if Chris Godwin comes back and he's a healthy Chris Godwin with Mike Evans, forget about it. Tampa is going to blow up. I did hear about Tyreek Hill basically wanting to quit now on the Dolphins, saying he's out. Let him go. You're out. Goodbye. This is like an Aaron Rodgers Jr. situation. You tweeting it out there for everybody to see that you're unhappy. Just go. You don't have to stay.
Shout out to K Wells in the house in the comments. He said Hill wanted the money and did them boys bad. So my question was, because I heard it just coming in to the show, what happened?
I don't really know all the stuff that happened. There's just been a lot of there was another team. I had to talk about this Dallas situation real quick about Cooper Rush, and then I'm going to go back to the Hill situation. This may be akin to that. Cooper Rush, who's been filling in for Dak Prescott all this time. No, they haven't been winning, but the point is he's been carrying this game. All of a sudden, they bring in this little other kid that nobody's heard about to let them play the season of finale. And it keeps Cooper Rush from getting his like 55% of the snaps so he doesn't get paid. Like he lost $500,000 because Jerry Jones and them decided to bench him with the last game so that they didn't have to pay him this money. That is as dirty as it freaking gets.
Wow.
I mean, like, I don't know how you come back from this. They put Trey Lance in there for Cooper Rush, and against the last game, Trey Lance has not done anything for this game. Dallas didn't have nothing to play for. There was no reason to say that this was okay to bring him in. Dallas was not going to the playoffs. They weren't doing anything different than what they had already been doing. So to bench Cooper Rush basically to save this money is a low blow. Everybody saw it, and if I'm Cooper Rush, I'm dropping from the team. I'm a fill-in anyway. I don't want to be here.
K. Well said, heard about that. James is cold-blooded. Blue Phoenix Trey Lance was a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
What is going on? And then you said something about Johnson too. He's not even the newsworthy.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, former Carolina Panther who went to the Baltimore Ravens. We traded him.
Right.
He asked to be traded. Got up there to Baltimore. They asked him to take the field. He didn't want to take the field. Then he didn't want to practice. So they started excusing him like as a suspension. Like, hey, you don't want to be here. We're going to go ahead and suspend you for the day. Next thing I know, he's traded over to, I don't remember, the Texans, somewhere in the Midwest, and now he don't want to play there. And somebody said he was with the Steelers, and he doesn't want to take the field for anybody. And I don't know if this is a mental health issue you got or what, but as many young men that are trying to get in the NFL, and as difficult as it is, go home and let somebody else that wants to be there be there.
Makes sense. I mean, got just a small number of people just kind of wanting to call the shots and stuff like that. So, man, I wish I could have called the shots was I in the military.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking up on the Tyreek Hill situation, and I mean, I don't know. He's just, sometimes I believe this is kind of like Coach Lanning said from Oregon, clicks and likes. Sometimes you just want to make yourself relevant, so you got something to say. But nonetheless, when you start saying stuff like that, kind of like how Antonio Brown did, you could just go ahead and exit stage left. And hi, Karen. Yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, we got Karen Belk in the comments as well, saying hi. So yeah, it was a great game. I'm so happy for all the Carolina fans who watched that game, either in person or on TV. It was just electrifying. I mean, Karen said, heard they're burning Tyreek jerseys.
Yeah, he basically he had a restructured contract before the season started. I know that part. And it basically made him get more money at some point. But then if the Dolphins were to cut him, it was just it was almost like a non-tradable clause. It's just a lot. Like Blue Phoenix said, his big money guarantees, money paid. So now he's looking for another payday. That's about the gist of it.
Is that the routine? You go to one team and he did it in Kansas City, then you go to Miami, then you do it in Miami, then let me go to my next team and do that. That's like the routine thing to do.
Yeah, he's milking the situation. And let me tell you what's crazy, Pink. When you look up Deontay Johnson's wiki, it still has him listed on the Panthers roster, but then it says the Steelers traded him to the Panthers in exchange for cornerback Dante Jackson. You remember when they got Jackson from us?
Yeah, Action Jackson.
Yes, to support Bryce Young. But Johnson is from the Ohio State, and he's actually been in the league longer than any of us thought. This cat has been signed with the Arizona Cardinals as far back as 2008. If you don't take your old behind down and sit down, sir, we didn't even know who you were. They signed him as an undrafted free agent, and he was later released due to an ankle injury. And ever since then, girl, he's 38 years old from Columbus, Ohio. Deontay, please go on home, honey. Go on home.
Blue Phoenix said he got 72 minutes. K. Well said, can't blame the man. At the end of the day, he has a large family. LOL, miles have to be fed. At the end of the day, Karen said, we could use some speed maybe, but don't need any primer prima donnas.
Yeah. Deontay left. I mean, yeah, this is crazy. I don't know. There's another there's a Deontay LaMarcus Johnson too, not to be confused with him. He's from the Houston Texans. So they might have gotten this, you know what? They might have gotten him mixed up with this other cat. So let me see. You know what? The Johnson that we need to be talking about is not the 38-year-old. It is the one from the Texans. So now he's gone from the Ravens to the Texans. And let's see if he put up any stats. Oh, he had 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, and averaged 11.4 yards. So where'd he get it from? I guess he played for the Texans finally, because he ain't played for nobody else.
He wasn't with the Panthers.
Or the Ravens.
Well, we've got about, it's 9:30, 9:20 Eastern time. Let's close it up a little bit with a talk some NCAA football. We also have the championship games coming up, the quarterfinals coming up.
Yeah.
We just had the bowl games this past weekend, and now we've got some more games coming up here.
Let's
let me
see.
see what we got going on here, because you said the Ohio State, and I know
Ohio State. This is the time of year we're starting to get into
basketball.
I'm a big Duke fan. Duke. Bill
Notre
Belichick
Dame took over Georgia.
Yeah, can't forget. Let me just tell you real quick, Pink. I feel absolutely horrible for Kirby Smart. I mean, they lost the game. So first, let's back it all the way up in order of importance. Kirby went down there with his father to the Sugar Bowl on New Year's weekend. His father fell and broke his hip on New Year's Eve and needed surgery while he was in New Orleans and passed away. That same night,
Wow.
New Year's night, was the attack, the domestic terrorist attack. All while this is going on. And then they lost the game and they were eliminated. Kirby probably don't ever want to go back to New Orleans again. I'm going to be honest. I spent my last birthday in New Orleans. I've gone to New Orleans a bunch of times, and I was looking at those pictures today. A lot of my pictures are on freaking Bourbon Street. I mean, I cannot even imagine that, but I had to just plug that in. Our thoughts and prayers are with Kirby. That is absolutely horrible about his dad.
That is. I didn't even hear about that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We got some more chats coming in here. We've got Karen. Well, Karen said, love Jalen Coker, hoping Xavier Legette gets a little more consistent. Couple of great catches. Bluefangs Ohio is going to win. I'll win it all. Dennis, shout out to Dennis Cockerman in the Trailer Park Country Band.
We talked him up.
We talked about you. Okay. Okay. Both of you, a big hello, and we love y'all from the Trailer Park. Oh, wow. Yeah.
We got to do our phone call this week, Dennis.
Karen says, so disappointed Georgia is out. Should pull for Texas since they're SEC, but can't heard about Kirby's dad. Tasha said, I'm glad Georgia lost, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting now. We got Notre Dame. We got Ohio. What we got coming up here?
They, the Ducks got quacked down, Pink. I was shocked. They got quacked all the way down. I mean, I was impressed. I mean, Mr. Clicks and Likes, that's what I always call him. I was like, that's what he said about Coach Prime. He's like, they're playing for clicks and likes, and we're playing for wins. And I never forgot that. He had his whole team hyped up to like just obliterate them. And so, even though they had just beat Penn State 45-37, I think they just ran out of gas when they got ready to come up to their next game because they put so many points on the board. They got beat. I'm trying to see their score here. Mr. Clicks and Likes.
Well, the score was, I had it up just a second ago. Anybody know the score? Put it in the chat.
I'm getting to it. I'm trying to
find it. Was up stuff over here.
So many bowl games. Oh, here it is. 41-21. The Ohio State put a molly whopping on those Ducks. I'm talking about shutting their bills up. They quack those Bills down. They went duck hunting.
Ooh, quack, quack, quitty, quack, quack. So we had, January 2nd, Georgia, Notre Dame beat Georgia 23-10. Then we had Penn State over Boise State 31-14. So now we've got, and then we had January the 1st, of course, Texas pulled out a win over Arizona. And then now we got January the 9th coming up with Notre Dame and Penn State. And then January the 10th, Ohio State with Texas Longhorns. And of course, the winners of those two games will advance to the national championship game, TBD, January the 20th, correct?
January 20th. They getting all the way down, trying to cross up and meet up with the Super Bowl time almost to the playoffs.
I think Ohio State's going to be in there. And looking at Notre Dame, I'm thinking Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Ohio State's the number 6 seed, and Notre Dame was number 5 coming into the last games, into the bowls. I mean, they even got a first responder bowl. They got bowls for everything. The only thing they don't have is a grass bowl. I mean, y'all got bowls galore.
And we were at a bowl that we never been at before. The Alabama Crimson Tide was at the Reliquist Bowl out there in Tampa, which I was at, and lost miserably.
Let me tell you, the bowl they need to get rid of is the Duke Mayo Bowl. That is the disgusting bowl. At the end of the game, whoever wins, they pour a lot of mayonnaise on somebody. It's disgusting, barfo. I'm like, y'all have run the freak out. I guess next they'll have a Hell Bowl.
Comment says, we got Nathan Castro. Hello, Nathan. Great finish for the Panthers.
Lions.
Finish, LOL. K. Wells. Nice slice of humble pie. Blue Phoenix says, yep. Bye-bye, duck clucks. Karen Belk. Notre Dame look pretty good. Can't believe they're in ACC in other sports, but not football. Tasha said that Texas game was something. And then, we got a lot of comments coming in here. K-Well says, shame they didn't let QB1 for Ohio get on stage after the West. Not sure how true it is, but they were saying it was either because of weight capacity on the stage being maxed out, or due to him thanking his Lord and Savior on the field during an interview.
No. You know what? These athletes, they do that. And I'm all for it. You want to thank the good Lord for life, health, and strength and for a win? Go be it, because we're nothing without him. And that's just my personal spin on it. But they kept him off the air. But somebody was fined in the NFL for having on a Jesus shirt or something like that. And somebody else got fined for wearing a MAGA hat. But they also fined Jalen Hurts for wearing two-tone cleats in his last game. He had on 2 different shades of green, and they fined him. Y'all running out of stuff in NFL. And
y'all need something to do.
Wow, that's horrible. Well, if you can't put QB1 on the stage after a dub, that's just as bad as when, was it them that played Michigan and they got into the big brawl because they were trying to plant their little win on their field and stuff, and all these people were out there fighting? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Blue Phoenix said, me too, sis. That's who I'm thinking. Karen Belk says, knows those Falcon fans were shocked. You're a Bama fan too? Yeah, I'm a Bama fan. Roll Tide, and Roll Tide. Blue Phoenix said, hey, them boys pay money, minimum $4 million. K-Well said, some fines are worth it. Absolutely. Blue Phoenix, the no fun league.
Yeah, NFL, not for long.
Oh, man.
They don't went from letting, sometimes they used to fine everybody for excessive celebration. And now, though, what you can't do is you can't do this. Drake London got fined for doing like the shooting.
That's like you firing an AK-47. You
Let
can't
me tell
be doing
you what's
that.
crazy. He did it during the season opener. I was at the game, the Falcons game. He did it in the season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers right after, the week after the Appalachian school shooting, which was here in Georgia. How dumb can you be? Yes, you're going to get fined.
Yeah, that's just, to do anything like that of that nature is ridiculous.
And they had the badges on their uniform in honor of the kids that died. And you still went out there like, dude, there's no recourse on that one.
That is dumb and stupid.
Dumber.
So what we gonna close out with? We got, let's just say, what would you like to close out with? The night has been fun. We had a great time. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about a lot of stuff. We're gonna listen. We're gonna come back. I want you guys to follow Sonja's channel. She's got All Things Football from a lady's perspective on Facebook, and she's also on YouTube, Prim and Proper Sports, as well as on Instagram, Prim and Proper Sports, as well as X, Prim and Proper Sports. So she's all over. Go and follow her, Prim and Proper Sports. And then on Facebook, like I said, All Things Football from a lady's perspective. Share, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys can follow me on Facebook at PINKFanFur on Facebook, X, and I'm on X and YouTube. Yes. I just started my YouTube channel about 3-4 weeks ago now. And I started like doing my makeup tutorials and my hair tutorials because you guys know I'm a super fan and I got to get all dressed up and dutied up. So I said, well, I got to do it anyway. I might as well video it. And it's so much fun.
I watch it. It's so much fun and informational. I watched one of your eye makeup ones. So I did my eye makeup tonight. And I'm excited about it because it turned out decent. It's nice and subtle. And I'm not big on my own makeup. And I crimped my hair. So see,
you did great. You did great. I've loved doing that. I love makeup, guys, and hair. I just decided to just start videoing, and I don't want to like keep all of this information in. There's no reason for us to keep information that we have in. Like, let's share the information that we have to other people. And also, I've got a travel series version on my YouTube channel because I started videoing a lot of my travels really within the last few years. I've actually videoed a lot of travels, and I never thought to just put it on YouTube. Like, why am I keeping this in my portfolio of videos for what? Nobody sees this stuff. So I slowly but surely like uploading those travel videos. And I've got my Grand Canyon tour that I haven't uploaded yet either. And went out there to California, got some video footage from that. So there's still some things that's coming up for the travel series for me. Tasha said, awesome job, ladies. Enjoyed y'all. Blue Phoenix plug, OMG, that's it, live tomorrow night. Oh, yes, let me put a plug in for OMG, that's it. If you guys are out there like those like high-end handbags and bookcase, wallets and all those nice looking things, they have OMG, that's it. They've got a lot of great merchandise over there. I've actually gotten several items from them, very inexpensive and affordable. OMG, that's it. They go live every Tuesday night at 9 Eastern Standard Time, correct? Yep, she said 9 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. You guys go and then put a plug in for that and show up. We're gonna go back live. This show, Prim, Proper, Pink, and Pretty is just a theme that we thought about, and we're probably going to be doing this. We haven't decided what night. Maybe Monday night is a good night, but really all depends on Sonja's. I keep wanting to call you Sonja. Sonja's schedule because she's in law school. So this is a theme, but we also have another theme. My other theme is PINKFanFur and Company. That's where I'm going to be having super fans come in and talk about them being super fans. And so we've got this collaboration going. So next Monday, I believe is the 13th of January, I will be having a Carolina Superfan United member up by the name of Dojo Cat. She will be my guest on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that being said, plug for you, Prim and Proper Sports. Plug for you, all things football, all things football, all things from a lady's perspective. And then plug in for OMG, that's it, the luxury handbags and more. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show. We hope you guys enjoyed our debut show. Yes, Sonja, you have been a great co-host. I couldn't have done this without you.
You're always fun, and we always have so much fun together. And thank you to all the viewers from our show from Friday. We had over 1,400 views within the time we were actually live. As soon as I got off, I saw 1,100 one place. I saw 260 somewhere else. It was literally over like 1,400 people. So thank y'all so very much. Now, if y'all same people would just go over and subscribe to our YouTube channels, we would be so appreciative. And I'm also on TikTok And so thank you to the 3,500 people that I had watching yesterday after the Panthers game, because I'll be bringing Pink over once she joins our TikTok community, so we can do this again and talk fashion, football, faith, and family, and all the good stuff that we love. And so it's been awesome to be here, Pink. Thank you so very much for having me on. I'd love to be available whenever you want me to come back.
We will be having you back soon, Miss Sonja. We appreciate you. We love you. We love you guys out there, all of our viewers out there in internet land. We're going to go ahead and close for the night. We hope that you have a great evening and be blessed, be safe, stay tuned, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Where my Raider fans at? Y'all know what it is. It's for all my Raider Nation heads out there. Yeah. Let's let them know. Let's let them know.
I'ma ride with the squad, rockin' silver and black. We the Raiders from the West.